All right, everybody get your notes out. Reproductive system, this is lesson number 2. Put your food away, please. Food away. Food away. Thank you. Glasses on there now. Just put it aside for now. Everybody's got their notes out? And you got a pencil in your hand, boys? Pencil? Got something to write with? All right, menstrual cycle. I'm not going to go over this diagram too heavily. This is a very kind of confusing diagram, but as the cycle goes from left to right, that's the early stages of the cycle and the late stages. We're started. Okay, so quiet, please. This is the hormone levels. Okay, so HPL and the pituitary hormone, the LH hormone. So you see where kind of in the cycle it spikes. In the ovary here, so this is kind of neat, where the follicle, oh, is it frozen, sorry? Where the follicle develops and enlarges, and where the egg is ejected there. So this dotted line, I guess, would be about the ovulation stage. The estrogen and the progesterone, the levels sort of swap around that time as well. And the uterine lining is shed during menstruation and then is built up again. And if an egg is fertilized and developed, it embeds in this stage as the uterine lining kind of grows around it. And if it's not fertilized, then it gets ejected. If it is fertilized, the body tries to keep it and help it to develop there. Okay, so a bit of a diagram. It's kind of neat. This summarizes a little bit of all the levels and stuff that we've talked about. All right. During copulation, the erect penis ejaculates semen, an average of 3 to 4 milliliters of semen containing up to 300 million sperm into the vagina. The sperm swim through the vagina, the uterus, and the uterine tubes, where fertilization actually takes place. Both sperm and eggs only live for a few days, so fertilization can succeed only if copulation occurs within a couple days before or after ovulation. So I guess this fancy word copulation is the word for when everything kind of comes together, if you know what I mean there. So if you're wondering what that means, yeah. So, yeah. We okay? Oh, we're red again. Okay, red face again. I know. This is probably. Oh yeah, you missed the first lesson, didn't you? That's too bad. This is everybody's favorite unit for sure. I know. Question. Can you get the paper? You didn't get one. What? You don't have any notes at all? Oh, why? Were you not here last night? All right, let's move on. If there's no other questions, good, awesome. Okay, fertility and fertilization. So during fertilization, a few hundred sperm swarm the egg. So remember how many there were that were released in the ejaculate? 300 million. So most of them, a vast majority of them, die off and do not make it to the egg. Around the egg, there's only a matter of hundreds. Enzymes released by all the sperm's acrosomes, digest the outer corona radiata and the zona pellucida, layers of the unfertilized egg. Now, you guys watched a video yesterday. If you were not here to watch the video, you were going to have to watch that video because there's a short reflection that I have marked. And I haven't seen all of yours yet, so you might have to come talk to me after this lesson. But there's an amazing video. I'll show you in a second. All right, this allows the sperm cell to penetrate the egg and to fertilize it. So notice the egg is fairly secure until the sperms come in contact with it, and then it starts to dissolve and the sperm can actually get in there. The two haploid cells now, so that's the sperm and the egg, fuse into a single diploid cell, diploid. So di is two, two sets of chromosomes, I guess, right? So the one haploid cell has 23 chromosomes, and the other one has 23, come together to have 46 chromosomes. So this gives it now all of the genes that it needs to form a human. So alone, those haploid cells are only have half the information, so nothing can happen. But now that they've come together and they start forming a complete, genetically complete cell. Permanent contraception can be achieved by sterilization, either by vasectomy or tubal ligation. Anyone? I don't think we talked more about that. Does anyone know what vasectomy or tubal ligation is? Vasectomy, you never heard of that? Okay, so if we go back to our diagrams, I think it's the vas deferens that gets cut. Give me a second. Okay, shh, quiet down now. So the vas deferens, okay, that takes the sperm from the testes through the chain there. This is cut and sealed. Okay, so this is cut and sealed. This is. Okay, all right. This is a vasectomy. Okay, so what happens? Good question. The sperm. Remember, the ejaculate is the actual substance is much more than just the sperm. The sperm are super tiny, and so the sperm are just kind of coming through here. And when these are cut, then the sperm just kind of like dissolve and die, and they just kind of seep through openings and membranes and stuff. So it's not like it's a small portion of the actual, fluid, the sperm. So it just reabsorbs into the body.
Why don't they tie like all four of the openings?
Well, I'm not sure that they don't, but they might leave one untied so that the sperm has somewhere to go to just dissolve inside the body. Yeah. Yeah, no, nothing's going to explode. No, nothing's going to explode. Yeah, well, you can think that if you want. Nothing's going to explode. Sorry? Does it get full? Yeah, no. No. The thing is, though, with the vasectomy is because, and again, you guys may as well know this. I mean, lots of people don't know this until they're adults, but with a vasectomy, this doesn't inhibit any other function of the whole system. Like, it's just a small part. So the ejaculate is only missing the sperm. That's all. Everything else functions completely normally. Yeah.
Don't they also make like hormones, like testosterone and stuff? Is that like make it so have less?
No. All right, so tubal ligation is getting your tubes tied. This happens in the female, and it's basically the fallopian tubes get either cut, cauterized, which means like burnt, and so that they're burnt so that there's no extra tying, there's no looping, all that sort of stuff. It's actually the ends are burnt so that there's just burnt flesh there that stops the flow. A tied, cut and tied, that's the more the ligation, and banded or clipped. This one is, I guess this one would probably be the least permanent, right? Because this could be undone. Now the thing is, the question was, I believe, that can this be undone? These can be undone. It's not, it's tricky to reconnect, and because there's been so much damage, I think it's kind of tough to do and tough. There's no guarantees that everything's going to work the way it was. But I do personally know someone who had a vasectomy and then had it reversed, and they have children. Yeah, they've had more children. So, so it's possible. Yeah, it's possible, but not 100% guaranteed for sure. All right, so let's move on. The most temporary contraception. So, contra is kind of the opposite of. Ception would be like inception, or something to be created. So it's to keep away from something being created. Contraception. And this would be if a woman does not want to get, or a couple does not want to get pregnant, then there would be contraception methods. So most temporary contraception methods prevent ovulation or prevent sperm and egg from meeting. So there is a way to restrict the fertilization of eggs, a number of different ways. Some contraception is controversial on an ethical sense. Some people don't believe that using contraception at all is a good idea for medical reasons and or for ethical or religious reasons. There are some contraception methods that keep the sperm and the egg intact, just provide a barrier that they don't meet. There are some, again, I'm not a pro here, I'm not an expert, but there are some contraception methods that prevent the egg from being released. There are some that there are some contraception, and the ones that are controversial would be the ones where the sperm and the egg do meet. It is a fertilized egg, but the drugs that you take cause that egg to be ejected or fool your body into thinking you're not pregnant, and so that fertilized egg is ejected. So that's where most of the ethical controversy comes in, because if you are a believer that life starts at conception, then what we have is we have a life there, we have a fertilized egg, and you're taking drugs to fool your body into thinking that there's nothing there, and so that it will eject it. So that's the thing. And again, I don't know how all of these things work. You guys can form your own opinions about that kind of stuff, but I'm just saying that contraception is complicated. There are some factors that people need to consider, when this. And then, of course, abortion, we know about this. We did a little reflection piece on this earlier on in the section. Abortion removes the embryo from the uterus, but it is not considered a contraceptive device because it terminates rather than prevents pregnancy. So, so certainly in an abortion, there is a fairly advanced, developed, human in there, and that's is removing it out of its place there. So, yeah, it's different than contraception. They wouldn't be considered the same. Any questions? Again, it's a sensitive topic, so you guys need to talk to trusted people, do your own research, and just like in a lot of things in the health science area, there's things that need to be dealt with maturely and delicately, and this would be one of them. So, was there another question back there?
It's less of a science question, so I don't think this should be the right time to ask.
Okay. All right. We can talk later if you want. All right. How do humans develop? A fertilized egg is called a zygote. So a fertilized egg is not an egg anymore. It's not a sperm anymore. It's a combination of the two. It's called a zygote. It develops into a blastocyst, CYST, blastocyst, and implants in the endometrium. That's the lining of the uterus. So we have zygote, blastocyst, and endometrium. During implantation, the outer blastocyst layer forms the chorion, while the inner cell mass forms the amnion, the yolk sac, and the embryonic disc. Okay, just fill in your blanks there. There's lots of detail here, and again, if you watch that video, you would have heard some of these terms. During the third week of development, chorionic villi extend into the endometrium of the uterus. Chorionic villi during the third week. And that's where there's, I guess the implantation becomes more secure, and there's more exchange then of different things. So one other thing that I thought was pretty interesting, which I'll talk about it in a bit here. During the fourth week of development, the endoderm forms a tube that will eventually form the digestive tract. So the stomach, umbilical cord also forms between the embryo and the placenta of the mother. So the placenta, you've heard about this word, maybe or maybe not, but this is sort of the interface between the mother and the baby. Yeah, there's a lot going on there in the placenta. And actually, I'll tell you about this interesting thing that I learned not too long ago myself. But just to kind of firm up the fact that the baby and the mother are two different organisms, the mother's blood does not actually mix with the baby's blood. There is a sharing of nutrients and a sharing of things from mom's blood to the baby's blood, but in the placenta, the blood stays separate. But it comes in close enough contact, and again through process I don't know how to explain right now, but it through the process the nutrients and things sort of absorb and gets exchanged, but it's not actually the exact same blood that's in the developing baby there. So
is that the same as the oxygen,
like oxygen transferring? Yeah, it'd be similar thing. Yeah, it would be a similar thing. Yeah.
But it's an infiltration.
Yeah, it'd be similar. Yeah. Yes. yeah. That's true. Apparently, yes, the placenta has a lot of nutrients and a lot of things in there. Some people, I don't think it's a large number of people, but some people actually consume the placenta afterwards. The mothers do, so that the baby has all of these nutrients. I don't know how highly recommended that is, but I know of that happening. Okay, where are we? During the 6th week of development, the embryo displays prominent chordate features, notochord, tail, gill, grooves. Okay, if this is, whatever, if it's not a human, we got tail and gills and stuff like that. When I grew up in old textbooks years and years ago, yeah, it was Haeckel's drawings, I think. And in support of, this common ancestry evolutionary sort of idea where we all really came from the same, single-celled organism or whatever, part of the reasoning was that, hey, look at the fetal development. We're all exactly the same until right at the very end. And then humans turn into humans and then fish turn into fish. And those drawings were found to be completely fabricated. Like it was not true at all. And it was like in textbooks for 100 years or 50 years. And so these drawings are not accurate. Obviously, there are a lot of common characteristics that we share with animals. Lots of 2 eyes and 2 ears and 1 mouth and stuff like that, limbs and things like that. And so the embryo development will take a general, categorical, sort of similar process. But I don't know if you ever hear about that. That's been long since discredited, Haeckel's drawings, and how we're basically the very same until something switches on or switches off late in development. It's not true. It's not actually true. But during the 6th week of development, we have spine, we have heart, we have eyes, we have ears and brain, everything by the 6th week. And a lot of times people don't even know they're pregnant. Women don't even know they're pregnant by the 6th week. Do you know kind of when that pregnancy, like when most women kind of know they're pregnant? I mean, you miss a period, right? Your body doesn't shed the unfertilized egg because it's fertilized. So if you miss a period or late on a period, you might have an idea around a month. But sometimes even 6 weeks is kind of like women are late with their period cycle and they don't even really know. But by the time you first find out, there's a lot of this development's already begun. Yeah, just a note. Any questions? Right. Next page. By the 8th week of development, most of the major organs have developed. The gonads form and develop. So this is the like the testicles, the ovaries, producing testosterone or estrogen that will affect future embryonic development. The developing embryo is now called a fetus. Over the next 7 months, the fetus continues to grow and develop with its organs becoming more and more functional. A lot of people a lot of people don't really tell anyone until around the 3rd month that they're pregnant, because in the 3rd month, so that's about 12 weeks, then the development is quite far along, and the chance that they're going to lose the baby, or that the baby is not going to go to full development, the chances are pretty low then. So usually people wait to tell most, to make an announcement that we're pregnant. It's usually after the 3-month period generally. So a lot of times they tell family and that, but even that, it's like, your body's, we don't live in a perfect world. Not everybody's body works great. Sometimes there are accidents. So sometimes even when a woman is pregnant, the pregnancy doesn't go to full term for whatever reason. So a lot of people kind of keep that private for 2 or 3 months. Some people, tell right away, tell family members right away, I think we're pregnant. But sometimes if it doesn't work out, and usually within the first 3 months, sometimes the baby is not viable. Maybe it doesn't survive. Maybe there is a miscarriage. So a miscarriage is when early on in the development that a pregnant woman the body would reject the fetus there, the embryo, and then it would start to bleed out, and then the cycle would happen with the uterus lining starts to break down, and so depending on different genetic things and circumstances, that's what a miscarriage is when a developing baby early in the stage is ejected. So I've got some hands here, yeah.
So I read about, so most abortions happen.
During pregnancy, the mammary glands within the mother's breasts grow under the influence of estrogen and progesterone. After birth, infant suckling stimulates the release of prolactin and oxytocin, which triggers milk secretion and release from the mammary glands. Did we miss a slide or no?
Oh, yeah, it's just in the wrong order. Never mind.
Like these 2 points are in the wrong order?
On our notes.
Oh, they're switched? Oh, sorry.
Oh, wait, which one's right?
What? Okay, the next point says 9 months of fetal development culminates in labor and delivery, which occurs through the interplay of estrogen, progesterone, steroid hormones produced by the fetus, oxytocin, and uterine stretching. Yeah, it looks like these 2 points are in reverse order. Is that correct? Is that what you're saying?
Wait, on which one, though?
Like the 9 months is.
Like this one is before this one.
Yeah, on ours, in the notes, 9 months is first, and on the...
That's what I just said.
Wait.
They're in reverse order?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right, let me fix that. Okay, that's what it looks like in your notes. I apologize then. That's backwards for some reason. Okay. All right. So any questions about this page here? You guys have I heard someone had a question back there, no?
I know, I actually never had... Yes, you did.
Okay, all of a sudden this unit, you guys are like saying, here's the question, hey, question over there. You guys are like telling me that everybody else has a question. But, okay. All right, well, that's fine. If you don't want to ask the question, that's fine. I know you do have one. Okay.
Yeah, we answered.
Yeah.
Both men serving the paddles